Hi, I'm Mrs. Sheffield, and I am sharing a little bit of my teacher story here with the changes that have happened. And the people that follow me on Instagram, they know a lot about the changes. And because of the changes and my perception and love of teaching, I've had lots of questions about why it's such a big deal, because although they know I love teaching and it's my passion and what I was meant to do, I have gotten DMs and questions there asking or saying things like, it's gonna be fine, you're gonna go back, it's gonna be no big deal, it's just a little break. So I get those comments, and I'm like, you know what, maybe I should be a little bit more honest about the struggle of why 2022 and the change in my teaching was so hard. Right now you see a lot of teachers advertising and very joyfully announcing that they're not going to be teachers anymore. And that's good and well for them. That's their thing. I am not one of those teachers. I took it very, very hard. It was my 15th year teaching, and I dedicated a lot of time and effort to my school and a lot of resources and things like that. So for me, it was very, very hard. So even though you see teachers that are like, yay, I'm quitting and the job sucks and blah, blah, that's not me. I was very much trying to bring light to the job, because although it's super hard, there's so much good and happiness that comes from it, that I was trying to share that. So then leaving teaching was just like, okay, where did that come from type thing. So today I'm going to share why 2022 was really hard for me, leaving the teaching profession. So if you followed me before, you've seen some of my videos on Instagram, you know that teaching is my passion, because it's just something I love to do and I love kids. However, there are parts of the story that I don't share. So I'm going to go ahead and share a little bit about it right now. I have written about the fact that teaching has helped me out of a lot of things in my personal life, but I haven't talked about it. So, teaching was the reason why I got out of depression at 21 years of age. I struggled with childhood depression. I kept it very much to myself. But when I became a teacher, there was a light that just hit my heart. And it was wonderful. So it was the first time I felt free without my depression looming over me. That's just how it is. That's just how my life was. So, but after I got out of that depression, years and years of depression, it was amazing how good I felt in life. There's not that darkness that you feel. And anyone that suffers through depression understands that loom that you kind of have to wade through. But I had postpartum depression after my second child, so I had a few years where I didn't feel any depression, which was amazing. After my second child, I had postpartum depression, which is a whole nother beast in and of itself. But that triggered some of my childhood trauma that I didn't realize was just kind of lingering in the back of my mind. So life got kind of hard inside my mind. And I don't mean kinda, I mean it got brutal sometimes, but I kept that to myself. But I always knew my classroom was the one place I could go and not feel that pain. It was the free from all the mental issues that I was struggling with in my personal life. I could walk into my classroom and no longer just hurt. I could be like this and having a huge meltdown, but I could go to school and see the smiles on their faces. It brought so much joy to my life that I was just happy for those few hours until I went home and just had everything kind of hit me again. So for me, when I say the classroom was a safe place, it really was. I didn't have any of my background coming at me from my childhood trauma. Like, the way it affects your mind can be very brutal. And I did not have that when I was in the classroom. And I had my first few years of teaching very successful and very happy. And so all I knew about teaching was happiness. Outside of in my personal life, that's not how I felt. So when I went into my classroom, I just felt happy and I felt safe. And that was huge for me. So I knew I could never leave teaching. Not that I ever planned to. I planned to teach till I was like 90 years old and they were kicking me out. So I didn't have any plans to quit. But when that happened, when I walked into the classroom, I just felt so free. And so it was a safe place for me. So losing that safe place in 2022 was scary. So people don't get that. They're like, it's not a big deal, it's just a classroom. Yeah, some teachers feel that way. But there are some teachers that went into teaching for a purpose. And it really is a safe place for them. So for people like me, it's not just a place. It was a safe haven. And so I lost that in 2022. And that was super hard mentally. So that's one of the things that people don't know about me and my teaching, is that it really was a safe place. And I had to really fight some of my depression and my thoughts, losing it. Next, reason number 2. I love kindergarten. It's so fun to teach. It's super hard. So anyone who says kindergarten easy has never done it before, because it's not. It is so hard and so much work. And it was insane when I first started. And I was like, why are these kids not learning? Like, they're not getting things using these programs. I had taught 4th and 5th grade before that, and those are my favorite. 5th grade's my favorite. So when I switched to kindergarten, I was just like, these kids are not learning. Like, this is the most basic stuff and they're not learning. I don't understand why. And so for 12 years, I have perfected my teaching. I have worked every single year on my math and my reading and my writing programs to develop these amazing programs. So kids who even came in not speaking English, or kids who came in without preschool, were excelling and above level going into 1st grade. And I'm very proud of myself for that. So when I quit teaching last year, it wasn't just leaving a job. For me, I was leaving hours, days, weeks, months, years of curriculum development that I was no longer going to be using. When I had planned on doing it for another 10 more years, because I planned on staying part-time for 10 years, 10 more years, and I was not going to give up any of that. I was so good at it. I'm bragging, but it's, hey, when you deserve it, right? Okay, so my programs are really successful, and I was saying goodbye to them. And I had just started sharing my stuff on the Instagram with other teachers, and I could finally share it. And all of a sudden I felt like I couldn't share anything that I had worked on for years. I mean, just all these reading programs, all these skills, and these math worksheets, and just the whole thing was just gone. So for me, that was detrimental. All my creativity and lesson plans were done for. So that I took that very mentally hard. And people have said, oh, you'll go back and you'll be fine and you'll go back to teaching. The thing is I won't ever go back to kindergarten. Not in the school district anyways. I was a part-time kindergarten teacher. I loved it. I would never do full-time kindergarten. I am not good enough of a person to teach 2 classes. Those teachers that teach 2 half-day kindergarten classes are amazing, and they are not paid extra to do all the double work compared to every other teacher. So I am not going to be one of those teachers. I do not want to. I like kindergarten a whole bunch, and I love the kids. Not for me. I will not teach 2 kindergarten classes. I think that's not fair to the teachers, especially since they don't get paid extra to do double the work. So when I left kindergarten, I was leaving for good. That was huge for me, especially after years of curriculum development, just to say goodbye. When I go back to teaching, if I go back to teaching for the district, it will be older grades. I will be full-time and it will be older grades. As of right now, all my kindergarten years and all that work is gone. However, good news, I'm currently tutoring and using those same skills. I'm currently teaching my preschoolers how to read and using some of those same resources. So I'm still using some of the stuff that I made, not all of it. I am hoping to try to do better at sharing my stuff because I do know they're amazing, and I would like to help other kindergarten teachers because it's so stressful, especially when you have crappy programs that aren't helping your kids develop. So, but that's kind of my little update. I appreciate all the sweet comments from people and, hey, cheer up, you're gonna go back. I'm not. At least not to the district, not to kindergarten. And if I do go back to the district, it won't be for another lots of years, and it will not be kindergarten. So my teaching in kindergarten is done for, but I'm still gonna use my resources. But that's why 2022 was so hard. I lost my safe place and I was giving up on years and years of work. So that's why 2022 was hard. 2023 is here. I've got a new spirit, no more crying about it, using what I'm making. I even get to tutor a cute little boy with math skills, which math teaching is actually one of my favorites. People don't know that because I'm so good at teaching reading that they just assume I love teaching reading. I like it because I'm good at teaching it, but it's math. Math is my favorite thing to teach ever. So, but that's my update, okay? I'll be sharing more of my journey as I have time, because that's really what it is time.